Hey everyone, this is my Patreon part reaction to the 21st episode of Zetsuen Tempest. And last episode, that was kind of a big one. We found out the truth about who the Mage of Exodus, well, was. Obviously Aika can't be the Mage of Exodus anymore because she died. But yeah, she was the one before Hanamura. So yeah, like a real Mage of Exodus, not like a joke like he is, you know. So my theory being that maybe it was split after Aika, like, the heart going to one person, the power going to the other. After seeing Aika actually kind of embodying all of what is the Mage of Exodus quite clearly, I can believe that Samon split heart theory a bit more. But anyway, yeah, she's got the power. She's got it. She's the Mage of Exodus. She's aware of it. All this stuff. And somehow we get from this point to her being dead in the chair in her own home. Still not completely sure how we connect those two dots exactly, because even if they fought here and Aika was killed, like, doesn't really get her to that location. So I don't really get exactly how we get there unless we fight. She she escapes, but she's mortally wounded. And actually, now that I think about it, yeah, that would be the most likely, right? They fight. Aika's, mortally wounded. She escapes, but she wants to go home afterwards, so she can at least die in a place that she feels comfortable. That would explain, the blood trail and get into the chair and all that. So I guess that makes sense. I just kind of realized that as I was recapping. But anyway, this should be good. If we get a battle, it should be pretty cool. If we get a conversation, that should also be pretty cool. So let's just get into it and see what we do, in fact. Yeah. 3, 2, 1, play. E-N-I, E-N-I. But anyway, that theory that I mentioned, that does kind of require it to, in fact, be Hakaze who kills Aika, which at this point is looking like the most likely, the most likely thing. Like, I'm having trouble figuring out how it could be anyone else, so I think it's probably gonna be like Hakaze. Which that itself is a good enough reveal, all things considered. Like, I talked about how nothing could really satisfy me as far as reveals go about Aika's killer, but I can accept Hakaze, this reveal being good enough, if that makes sense. Because, it was really the Aika reveal of her Mage of Exodus that made the Hakaze thing good enough, if that makes sense. Like, if Hakaze just came back and killed Aika because, jealousy, that wouldn't have been good enough for me to really accept. But if she kills her because she is the Mage of Exodus, and the Hakaze being the killer reveal combines with that reveal, then that's good enough. That's cool. I can accept that. Anyway. Okay, that threw me really off when I... Speaking English really threw me off. Like, for a second, I legit thought I accidentally downloaded the dubbed version. That just really threw me for a loop. I gotta get back my focus again. I don't even know what happened in the last 10 seconds. I hope not. Femme fatale, woman of fate. And then she's got that big old sword. It's not how I imagined Fua Fua time. It seems like it, or she's a good faker. Well, now. You're not from the future. Yeah, I bet. I didn't know she was taller than Hakaze. That's interesting. Okay, just jump off the building, as you do. So she's just gonna kind of float down gently or leave a big crater. Isn't really good to see. I guess it would be pretty upsetting to hear. Would really suck to be told you're just gonna die tonight. So, I mean, not very much time left at all. Yeah. Well, we obviously know what she says is legit. Guess you're not gonna make that. It's a little bit dark, but I mean, there's not really a lot worse than that. Okay, I guess that's pretty bad too. Well, I mean, we've already had some damage done, but not quite to that scale. It's hearts, so that's what we have to go for. That's what I assumed, yeah. Well, one way to prove it. Final test. How do we cheat? Well, you die. Yeah, what you said. Yeah, what about that tree? That tree doesn't talk about as much. Really? Kind of making it sound like the Tree of Exodus is more of the good guy here. Yeah, death definitely is an inconvenience for getting things done. Yeah, I imagine something like that. Guess that would explain a lot. I think there's plenty of reason to fret. What is right and wrong anymore? I don't even know in this show. Yeah, that's definitely possible. That would be something. Those subs are very much cut off. Well, I guess we know what to do then. Yeah, that was... I had a feeling you get a kick out of that. Harsh. But cute. Okay, they're touching. Yeah, you don't have a lot of time to do much. Unless you really are gonna fake it somehow. Yeah, because right now it doesn't seem like Pockets is gonna kill her, so So what exactly happens? Well, share it with the rest of the class. You figured all that out that quickly, really? I'm not sure I even believe you. I knew she was gonna say that. I mean, the pointing kind of gave it away. I guess I would explain why she knows. The things she can say so casually. I guess that would explain that. I mean, that would explain a lot of the confusion. Like, I'm so glad she has some real screen time here. Uh, yeah, thank you for asking that. I'd rather you not die. No, I don't understand. Explain it to me. Yeah, I kind of figured that's where this was going. But still, I don't want you to die. I mean, technically, if you could somehow fake it, that would still work. You know, as long as you can convince them that you're dead, it would also work. It's really hard to follow this time travel shenanigans. Yeah, that's why I have a headache. Trying to follow it. Don't ask me, I'm barely managing to keep up. Well, I... Stop, make my head hurt. I mean, free will has always been kind of an odd concept in this show. But I mean, Aika killing herself was one of my earliest theories, so... Yeah, I do want Hawkins to do at least try to talk her out of this, so... It is not to accept. This is where it all comes down to. Whether or not the story becomes a tragedy or not can come down to one or two decisions. Well, it is called Zetsuen Tempest, but... What do you say about Hakaze? Well, that's very rude. It is an animation here. Uh, will they? Will I? I guess. I still don't want you to die, but I know I don't have much of a choice here. Yeah, pretty recently. Oh! Ah, I thought she was gonna go for a slap, but no, that was a straight up punch. Well, technically you did. Very good question. Doesn't matter. May I actually get that fight after all? Oh. Tentacles and Ica. This looks promising. Of course, he just breaks out of it. Ooh, double blades now. So cool though, but you kind of have to root for Hakaze here. Yeah, as long as she's got stuff to sacrifice. Yeah, we can ignore the consequences for now. Let's just do our best. And yeah, we are having our battle. Well, only became friends with the princess because you died, so there. It just is, that's just his type, I guess. You know, you could be a bit more focused on the fight, but quite a bit of a difference between when we fought Han and Mora. Guess what explains why you were so oddly philosophical. I think plenty of people adored you, let's be honest. Just slicing up those blue tentacles. Of course. You are definitely not a normal girl. You kinda did, but clearly not the case. But man, I love this animation, just quite something. Oof. Me without swords and tentacles? What fun would that be? Yeah, all I care was protecting you. Oh, wow. Big tentacle. Well, and we should be able to understand each other to a degree. Don't talk like that, they'll be fine. Well, of course you'd be willing to risk your life because you're willing to kill yourself. Yes, I'm gonna kill you to stop yourself from killing yourself. This is such a weird conflict. Oh, that's a lot of tentacles. Not that it matters, she just goes on through it. Oof. Well, you're making a compelling argument for that. Ooh, went right through a defense to cop a feel. Ooh. Yeah, I don't think Haka's gonna win here. He was able to penetrate her just not too difficult, without much difficulty, and then mount her. Huh. Well, yeah, that's a bit of a problem for her. Ooh, like a little taser kind of. Yeah, I don't think Hawkins is gonna be able to stop this. Well, I guess that's over. I still don't want you to die, Aika. I mean, I've had a whole show to accept your death, really, and I still don't don't want to see this happen. I still hope in the back of my mind that something happens to go for a happier ending. Something at all, anything. Like, I'm really hoping for a plot twist where it turns out Aiko was alive the whole time but just hiding somewhere. But I know that's probably just deluding myself. Come on, Hakaze. No, that doesn't look good. She actually left her a letter. Yeah. I guess he doesn't remember her from that. Okay, that was the 21st episode of Zetsuen Tempest. And yeah, this episode it was mostly just about Baika and Baka's interactions with each other. And we didn't really get the battle on the roof that I was expecting, but it was a lot of talking, though, because there was a lot to explain. And just I feel like there was a lot of reveals about the Tree of Genesis and Exodus and stuff this episode, but it kind of, I don't know, it's not really on the front of my mind, but basically there's definitely a connection there between them. And the Tree of Genesis definitely doesn't come across as the good guy here at all. He needs to be taken down. That's kind of the thing here. And possibly it has the power to reset like civilization and all that, and possibly has done that before. Probably has done that before, but yeah, I think it was like that gave us a timetable of like 10 years or whatever to take care of it. So otherwise, yeah, many people will die. Sure, and I mean, what else? I don't know. I don't know how much talking we want to do about this episode. Just. We did get a fight between them, of course, because there was some differences of opinion there. It basically boiled down to Hakaze didn't want Aika to die, and Aika did, so. Yeah, and we finally got our answer after all this time about who killed Aika, and it was Aika. I mean, you could probably go through some mental gymnastics to say that Hakaze killed her, I guess, but I mean, just Aika killed Aika, really, is what it comes down to. And that was, a theory I had pretty early on, but, I couldn't have possibly guessed the circumstances or the reasoning, motivation, or anything like that. I definitely wouldn't have been able to. But because of this, we did have an actual magical battle between them. However, Aika won pretty easily. She talked about how the Mage of Exodus is a lot stronger than the Mage of the Genesis and all that, and definitely showed that there. Because the Tree of Genesis, Mage of Genesis, it's like a bit of a handicap there. I guess he said something about that, how she gets more stronger as she does, and just as she would never win and all that. And yeah, Hakaze did lose pretty easily there. And Hakaze woke up eventually and saw that she was too late. Aika was there in the pose that we know so well, already dead. And I clearly had a misunderstanding about that. I don't know if it was just because of the way it was framed in the past or whatever. Like, because it just kind of showed, I guess because it was just really stylized or whatever in the previous shots we've seen of it. But it looked like there was a long blood trail leading to the chair, which kind of made me have a misunderstanding that she had walked from one room to that room while bleeding, but I was clearly wrong about that. It was just, she just sat there and bled out a decent amount from there. But, just, I don't know, I said this already, I think, but we've had pretty much the entire show to just kind of accept and get over Aika's death and all that. But just, in spite of that, it just really bothered me to see this. It's just such a weird situation, though, because, like, it's a character that died very early on, but she died before we cared about her at all. But then after she died, we saw these flashbacks showing more and more of her, how close she was to certain people like Yoshino and My Hero. We learned more about that stuff, which then, over time kind of makes us kind of more bothered. I say us, I mean, it's really just talking about my own feelings here. I shouldn't project that on anyone else, but it made me feel made me more bothered by the death the further along we went into the show, which is very different than what we would usually get in an anime about a character, a character's death like that. So then, so in this episode, when we got to the point where we did kind of have to watch her die again, it stung, I would say. It very much did. And I really am glad, though, that it didn't go into too much detail. Like, if they had actually shown her use her magic to kill herself and sit in the chair and eyes close and bleed out, if they actually showed all that, I think it might have actually broken me. I don't think I could have handled that, so I'm glad they didn't quite go to that point. But still, the end result's the same. I did hold on to hope that there was going to be some sort of big reveal that they really did fake it in some way, because the magic's in the show. It's not beyond the realm of possibility to fake something like that, especially if they could find, a girl that looks similar or whatever, and then just use magic to cover the potential problems with that, like DNA not matching or whatever. But we didn't see anything like that in this episode. We just saw her dead in the chair, the visual that we've gotten so used to seeing, and yet not quite used to seeing. And she goes there afterwards to find the letter, which we didn't know anything about. And that really stabbed me a little bit when I saw the letter and all that. But, yeah, something that she hasn't shown them yet. My hero and Yoshino, I guess, show them later. But she also saw my hero briefly through the window and Yoshino running towards the house, because obviously he would. But, yeah, he wouldn't remember Pakase from that. He saw her so briefly, and I'm sure his mind was very much preoccupied with something else, so it makes sense that he wouldn't remember something like that. Definitely. But the episode ended, she went to the graveyard and all that, but she hadn't returned to the future just yet, so I wonder how long she will stay here. Will she stay here long enough to do something else? I'm not sure what exactly, but she could stay here long enough to do something else. Because they've introduced time travel as an element, they might use it a bit more to try to do something else. I don't know. I guess we'll see. But, yeah, aside from the Ika stuff, the biggest thing, of course, is just the Triogenesis is a problem that we need to take care of. Which is interesting because early on, the show kind of framed it as the Triogenesis is good, the Trio of X is bad, but then gave us more details, and it got a bit more context to it, a bit of a different perspective with Samon and how the Kusaribe clan, they're kind of divided on this, and yeah, apparently there was good reason for that, because the situation is a bit more complicated than you might think initially. So I guess at this point our objective is to kill the tree of Genesis, seems like. So, because they talked about the heart and all that, so yeah, I guess that's all we really have to do now. Ika made the sacrifice to make that happen, so better not be in vain. We better be able to save civilization because of that. But yeah, that's all I got to say. So thank you for watching, and a special thanks to Cnouki for supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you consider clicking the like button and leaving a comment, because that's a great and easy way to let me know that people want more. If you want to do something big to help the channel, you can support me on Patreon and get nice benefits like early access to certain videos. See you next time.